Hey, it's Amal. I'm still in Milan right now. I'm going to Egypt in a few hours. And I wanted to go back and kind of review some of the conversation I had recently. And the subject that comes a lot is the current situation with um, men and women and the the whole conflict we have between men and women. We have these huge movements from one side or another um, of the extremes, with the red pill for men and the feminist for the other side, for the woman. And I wanted to reflect on that and just explain that, like, why these movements are starting to appear and how they formed, and how, or like what solution we can bring to actually improve that situation. um, from the conversation I've had, something comes a lot is that um, equality doesn't exist, and a lot of women talked about that. They No, it's fine, it's fine. A lot of women talks about the fact that equality doesn't exist, equality between men and women doesn't exist, and that if equality doesn't exist, then they just want to be treated as women. And we have to go back on the definition of equality, or that definition of equality, especially for men and women, because it's gonna be specific, especially because men and women are not the same. We are different. We are actually biologically different, but that doesn't mean that equality is not possible. The thing is, it's not that equality doesn't exist. It's more that the definition that most people have of equality um, is not well defined. So we have to go back to that definition. And the thing is, men and women are meant to be complementary, and it's more about that. And it's more about that complementary, that both can um, live without chaos. And so I thought about it a lot, especially with all the conversation that I had, and the conclusion I had was that both men and women need each other, and this entire fight has to stop. The extremes are never the solution, whether it's the red pill uh, with trying to dominate the woman and saying that they don't need women, or that they should obey, or all this kind of very extreme speech, or any kind of extreme thoughts, has to stop, because that's not the best way to fix the actual issue. The best way is to remember that men and women are supposed to be complementary, and this is really in that and this is really in that completion that the harmony of a couple can form, not in fighting each other or one dominating the other. It's really by finding the right complementation. Okay, the second thing is that people have that now the second thing that comes a lot is that people have to start um, getting more educated on the subject of relationship, and especially on men and women, you know. And on that subject of education, it's also educating our children to actually understand the dynamism of the dynamic of relationships, and that relationship have specific principles, you know, like respect, trust, um, communication. And this is really something very important to build, to change that whole movement that we can witness right now. And it's funny because, you know, I travel a lot, and in every country I go, it's always the same subject. It's something that comes a lot in conversation I have. This whole fight, I don't know, like when did we start fighting with each other? You know, men fighting women and women fighting men, and this whole movement has to stop. We have to understand that we are the same. We complemented each other, and so this whole fight just doesn't make sense. You know, for men, remembering that you are surrounded by women, you have like you have a woman that gave you birth, you have women around you, whether it's sister, aunt, like niece, uh, cousin, you know, you have women all around you, and in that sense women are part of you. You have to treat them with respect, and make sure you're not harming them in any way. And for women to remember that men are not the enemy, and that when you find the right person, you can really build something real with them. You might not need them, but with them you can build something real and something very beautiful when it's done in harmony. And in this whole conflict, we have to find a way to create a bridge, you know, one reaching the other and not being so stubborn with our perception of the world or the perception of others, you know, not seeing others as enemies but as part of us, which in a sense we all are interconnected in some way, and we have to remember that. So yeah, that was my message today. Remember to be kind and respectful and caring, because you don't know how long you got in this earth, in this life. So make sure you're not living in a way that would make you regret your actions or your words, you know. It's really about being mindful. So yeah, that was my message. I'm going to be leaving for Egypt very soon, and yeah, I hope that video gave you some perspective, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.